The following is a paid program for Cooking with Curtis Aikens. Brought to you by Zan Media Productions.
Hi, I'm Curtis Aikens, Chef Curtis Aikens. I got a new show, Cooking with Curtis. I hope you join me. I've had the fortune to work with some incredible chefs like Julia Child, Paul Prudhomme, and the best of all, my mama, Laura Bell. Look forward to sharing with you the things I've learned, and guess what? You might even save a few bucks on your grocery budget as well. Join me for Cooking with Curtis right here. Hey, it's me, Curtis. Welcome back to my kitchen. You know, one of the best deals going is that Costco chicken. In my town, it's $4.99. Here's the bird. Have you thought about how many recipes you can make from this one bird? I have 6, at least 6, and I'm gonna share those with you. First thing I do when I come home is I take the bird off of the little platter. I wanna save all those drippings. Now, as you notice, I'm putting my food safety gloves on. I want you to invest in those. Only like $8 on Amazon, so go for it, all right? And you are sure not to make anyone sick. No cross-contamination. What I want to do is lift the bird out. I want to keep all those wonderful juices in there. I want those. I love those. We're gonna make gravy with that, okay? Gots to have the gravy. All right, now place the bird on the platter. Then my little measuring cup. That's liquid gold right there, folks. Now, the first meal, Lisa loves the legs. I like the wings. So we're gonna detach those. And there's a little string at the bottom where they keep the bird nice and tight. I'm gonna show this to everyone at home. You see that? So remove that string. I've got my kitchen scissors in case I need them. All right, just take that over. Now with your food safety gloves on, you see the grease is not on your hands. Moms, dads have the kids out there working with the yard bird. That's what we call chicken down south, yard bird, okay? Growing up in Georgia, I would spend my summers up in North Georgia with my grandfather, and he grew chickens. And grandmama would prepare those chickens. Now I'm gonna show you this roasted bird. Now watch this, Don, my cameraman, he is taking that shot. You don't really need to slice it. You can just kind of pull it apart. I'm gonna cut through. We got the little drumette, the wing, and the little tip. I love all that. That's my meal. That first meal is with that part of the bird, okay? Now sometimes I've noticed when I buy my birds, I get them home and there may be a little pink in there, so I don't want you to be shocked. We got a tip for you. When you're cooking chickens, you should get an internal temperature of 165 degrees. This is another of those parts. This is the leg, which contains the thigh. Why is the thigh? You see that right there? And I'm just gently pulling that, right? If it doesn't come apart easily, take your knife, look for the joint, slip right through there. All right, Lisa loves the legs, so I'm gonna cut that off. Again, same thing, because the bird is fully done, a lot of times it'll just come right apart. Now, if it doesn't, take your knife, reach for the joint, beautiful drumstick, okay? That's a gorgeous dark meat. The back of the chicken is gonna be the key to making our stock and our chicken soup. Ooh, do not throw that away. Now look at that, we got that beautiful breast, okay? The skin, I'm gonna pull it right off. Again, don't throw this away. We're using all this to make our chicken stock. Okay, there's our chicken breast. I'm gonna store that in either plastic container or your Tupperware, whatever you have, right? We got 2 breasts, beautiful breasts of chicken. And all of this bones that are left, we're gonna use to make our chicken stock. Speaking of chicken stock, it's our first recipe of the day. The stock market. No, not the one in New York, Wall Street. The stock market as in bone broth, chicken broth. Stocks are really rising, the prices too. I'm gonna show you how to make an incredible bone broth, chicken bone broth, from that same old Costco chicken. Now all those pieces that we took from the bird, those leftovers, they look ugly, don't they? They're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I've got my pot here, okay? I'm gonna go to my stove top, and I wanna turn this stove on. I want this pot to be hot when those bones hit the bottom. There we go. We're gonna talk about chicken meat for a minute. All those little pieces that you saw. Look at that. That's gonna make our flavor, right? Let's go ahead. I think the pot is nice and hot. We're gonna back up to our stove top and add our chicken. Now here's the tip for buying sweet onions. You see that? The flatter the onion, the milder the flavor. This is an old-fashioned, regular old Spanish onion, right? It's the sulfites inside there what causes our eyes to water, okay? These have less sulfites, and the flatter they are, for whatever reason it is, the sweeter the onion, all right? Let's get back to making our stock. What I'm doing here is making the broth nice and quick. We're gonna bring it to a boil, really high boil, and then gonna lower it and let it simmer for about 1 hour. Broth is ready. Look at that. Stock, broth, kind of interchangeable. Bone broth is the new hip thing. Now, we have strained off our stock. Our bone broth is right here. Now, if you're not gonna make soup right away, which we're gonna do right now, I'm gonna show you some ways to store this stock so that you can use it. Just little Ziploc bags. See that right there? I froze this morning, so it's not like solid yet. And I don't wanna keep this no more than 2-3 months, all right? Remember, those Costco birds are so inexpensive. Now here's some stock. Again, I made this morning, put it in a little ice tray. I'm gonna add this to this right here. Is that okay with you all at home? See if I can get it open. I love these cubes. I like the fancy cubes for martinis. Look at that, isn't those pretty? A little broth. If the kid's home from school, you can just take the ice cubes out, the broth cubes out, melt them, like a cup of tea. Coming back to make our soup of the day.
Are you certain you can fix that?
Yeah, clip here and there.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters, like the certainty of Lisa, Joshua, Robin, Haley, and Josh. 4imprint promo product experts dedicated to working with you, for you, every step of the way. Make certain your logo, your organization, and you shine. That's the certainty of 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain. What you see here is an irresistibly special gift that just moments before was filled with the world's most delicious snacks from Nuts.com. Nuts, dried fruits, sweets, and other treats. All her favorites in one special tray of tasty temptation. Freshly roasted to perfection or freshly baked, dipped, seasoned, or popped to satisfy every craving. Create your own combination for Mother's Day or choose from Nuts.com's gift baskets and tins with every flavor of happy. Get 20% off plus free shipping on your first order.
We're better together because I can talk about any subject with you.
We laugh so much together.
Are you serious?
They are my sisters. They celebrate my wins with me.
You make me a stronger woman, a stronger friend, and a stronger sister.
That's why we are better together.
Dad, are you certain this is gonna work?
Nothing to it.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters, like the certainty of 4imprint. Your home for high-quality promotional gear, including exclusive items and brands they love. Printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time. To wow your clients, nail your next event, or inspire your team, check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
It's gravy time. While the stock is cooking, I'm going to share with you my next recipe. Before we get there, though, cutting boards, right? This is one of those flexible cutting boards. So when you're cutting vegetables, it's easy to bend it and pour things into the pan. Great. You like that? Okay, use that. Underneath my cutting board, you'll always see a wet piece of paper towel, whether I'm using a flexi board or a wooden board or even a glass board. I put the paper towel underneath it. That locks it in. That locks it, and you see it won't move that way, okay? Before we get to the gravy, you gotta have some mashed potatoes, right? Nothing like mashed potatoes. I have 2 spuds here. On my left is a good old-fashioned russet. These are used mostly for baking, okay? On the right is the Yukon Gold. Now I want you to notice a couple things here. When we peel them open, this one is much more white, the bleach looking color. This one has a golden, beautiful color to it. I like to blend things when I'm making my mashed potatoes. Now, let's take a look. See that? That's that white potato. The Yukon Gold, take a look at this. Look at the color. Let me get a little more of that open, right? This potato, look at that color. Isn't that gorgeous? They're both beautiful, right? This potato has much more moisture in it, okay? Now the 2 combos, the flavor and the dry plus the fluffy, makes for an incredible mashed potato. My boys used to love peeling potatoes. Now I'll show you something now. When you peel your potatoes, again, most of the time russet is used as a baker. You see those little spots in there? Those are the eyes. If you let these potatoes sprout, that's where the sprout will come from. Just add some roughage to your diet. That's all those do. A little potato skin never hurt anybody, right? In fact, it helps us. All right, now take a look at those gorgeous potatoes. Can you tell which is which? Yukon Gold is in the name. And this is the russet potato. Can't you see the difference there? All right, now, what we're gonna do is cut it into, I like uniform pieces. Why? Well, everything cooks about the same time. So you see what I've done there? Take that end off, squaring it up. Now the russet, I'm gonna cut a little smaller than the Yukon Gold because, as we said earlier, the starch here is a drier starch. It's wet, of course, but however, it doesn't have as much moisture as the Yukon Gold. So we make smaller pieces that will cook quicker. The Yukon will make a little larger, okay? Now I still want to keep the sizes of each potato pretty uniform for that potato because the whole process takes less time. And there's no rhyme or reason the way I cut potatoes. I just like to have fun with cooking. Oh, look at that. You see the little inside the potato? Isn't that beautiful? Wow. Okay, I have fun with food. Into the pot. Now, what we want to do now, see, I just want to cover these, like to right there, bring it to a boil, okay? And as that beautiful white starch comes to the top, give it about 10, 15 minutes now, okay? Your potatoes will be perfect. All right. The ingredients to make gravy is real simple. This is very down home. Flour, butter, drippings, and to give it more volume, we can add water. Coating the bottom of the pan with a pad of butter. A pad is roughly 2 tablespoons, okay? And when the first time you see bubbles, that's when you know it's time to add the flour. Again, this is one of those tips from the great chef Paul Prudhomme. I met he and Julia Child the same day. Now you see the bubbles there? We're gonna add the first bit of our flour. Let me turn this so you can see it at home. There we go. And again, one of those ways that you can regulate heat is by simply lifting it off the pan, right? So you get too talkative like Curtis, you gotta lift it up and cool it off. So add a little flour there. And here's that tip from Chef Paul. You gotta take your time and you gotta cook that flour. You gotta cook that roux. You gotta be patient. Now, if you wanna make a really dark gravy, let it really turn brown. If you want a lighter gravy, right there is when you start adding your broth. Now I'm gonna add a little more butter. Notice I've got the pan off the heat. Chef Paul would say, now Curtis, this is the part where you just gotta be patient. You gotta cook that flour to get a good roux. You gotta take your time and get it nice and brown. You know, if you want a nice roux. Oh, I could tell Chef Paul's stories all day long. What a beautiful human being. He was so kind, so loving. So the Book and the Cook, you know, Chef Paul was on before me. And so some young person said, well, we gotta hurry him off so Chef Curtis can get up there. And I said, don't you dare. If you try to shoo him off the stage, I won't even go on and perform. It was like, and then someone goes up and says, hey Chef, Curtis is after you. He goes, what, Curtis? This is one of the greatest chefs in the world. He says, Curtis is coming next, let me introduce him. Now I'm adding that I'm adding the chicken broth here. You see now how that's changed and everything? And again, it's really hot. So I'm gonna raise it off the heat so we can lower that heat here, just to kind of control the temperature. Now look at that. Look at that gravy starting to come together. Asparagus, right? When buying asparagus, look at that little tip part there. When it's nice and closed, that lets you know it's a nice, fresh asparagus. How do you determine where to cut your asparagus? Well, I just call it the bend point, right? Just where it naturally snaps. That's pretty cool, huh? We've got them ready to go in the pan, right? I'm gonna place these in. Gonna add some oil over the top, about just a little, just drizzle on top of it, okay? We're gonna add some salt. Let's turn the heat on, and about half a cup of water. When the steam starts to rise, set your timer. 6 minutes later, this is the perfect asparagus. Okay, y'all, it's time for the gravy. This is hot. I need to taste this, huh? Normally, I'll make a well in my potatoes, but today they were looking so good, I just figured, hey, just drizzle them over the top. What do you think, y'all?
What you see here is an irresistibly special gift that just moments before was filled with the world's most delicious snacks from Nuts.com. Nuts, dried fruits, sweets, and other treats. All her favorites in one special tray of tasty temptation. Freshly roasted to perfection or freshly baked, dipped, seasoned, or popped to satisfy every craving. Create your own combination for Mother's Day or choose from Nuts.com's gift baskets and tins with every flavor of happy. Get 20% off plus free shipping on your first order.
Jewelry you'll love. Find us in-store and online.
What you see here is an irresistibly special gift that just moments before was filled with the world's most delicious snacks from Nuts.com. Nuts, dried fruits, sweets, and other treats. All her favorites in one special tray of tasty temptation. Freshly roasted to perfection or freshly baked, dipped, seasoned, or popped to satisfy every craving. Create your own combination for Mother's Day or choose from Nuts.com's gift baskets and tins with every flavor of happy. Get 20% off plus free shipping on your first order.
We're better together because I can talk about any subject with you.
We laugh so much together. Are you serious? They are my sisters. They celebrate my wins with me.
You make me a stronger woman, a stronger friend, and a stronger sister.
That's why we are better together.
Hello, everybody. Curtis Aikens, Chef Curtis. Back in the day when I was with Food Network, midway through the show, I would have the camera person come in and would do a close-up, and I would give a hug to the camera. And the quote was, 8 hugs a day. You got to get them, you got to give them. So I love that. This hug's for you. As the shirt says, spread love. Talking about a great recipe, chicken soup. That one bird, 3 recipes. And 3 more on the next show, so you got to stick around. Now, that broth has been cooking a little over an hour. I want you to take a look at it right here. Is that beautiful or what? This is that bone broth. We're going to strain this because I want all the beauty in there. Whoa, look at all that beautiful. Oh, look, get everything in it. You don't waste it. And just let it strain. Let it drip through. And then what I want to do, once it is finished dripping, draining, I'm going to go back and take all of this meat off these bones, because that meat we're going to use to make fajitas. You can use it for enchiladas. There's so much you can do with that beautiful meat off those chicken bones. Soup. It's in every culture. Think about it, right? My mama made soup. Her mama made soup. Her mama's mama made chicken soup, right? It's in, like I said, everybody. Matzo ball soup, think about it, Thai soup, chicken noodle soup, chicken and rice soup. There's so many different types of soup. Today we're gonna make a simple, easy soup featuring that stock we made and those gorgeous vegetables. Let's get started, okay? Got my pot, of course, and the ingredients for our chicken soup. Stock. Remember earlier when I said you can add 2 more cups of water to that to get more volume? There we go, 4 cups of stock. We got a cup of chicken, and remember, we're only feeding 2 people, me and myself. Kidding. Me and someone else, right? So those of you who are worried about cooking for 2, I got you. We got you right here, Cooking with Curtis. We've got an onion here, medium onion, large onion. If you love onion, go for onion. We've got some celery, carrot, and some of those vegetables and the chicken from that strained broth we made, stock we made a little earlier, okay? Let's go to stovetop and get to cooking here. First thing we're gonna do is turn that burner on. And remember during the tips, the stock tips, right? We talked about sauteing with broth. Let's add about 1/4 cup, and we'll let that heat up. We wanna get that sizzle factor, okay? I may not use all this broth for this soup. Now, you know how to store it because I already shared those tips with you, right? We're gonna let that get nice and hot. I'm gonna walk up and grab my onions next, and I'll pull everything closer to me so we can just grab and go. The last thing I'm gonna add will be the chicken. And remember, this soup, because everything is, the chicken is done, the broth is done, vegetables can never be undercooked. This soup can be served as soon as it's hot. If you like crunchy vegetables, go for it. If you like your vegetables a little more soft like I do, let it cook 20 minutes or so. Yeah, we can see that sizzle there. Look at that, there we go. It's nice and hot, the temperature's up. Our onions go in. All right, carrots are next. Add our celery. Time for a little more broth. Last thing we're gonna add is our chicken. Chicken is already cooked, it's fully cooked, so don't worry. Goes in there. And I'm going to cover this with broth. I'm just gonna add enough broth to cover it. Should be about 1.5 cups, 2 cups. I'm gonna share a secret with you all. It's okay if it burns a little bit. You don't want to let it fry too crazy. That adds good flavor to that broth. That gives it nothing but love. And one of my favorite childhood memories of my kids' childhood is when we go cook together. And they say, "Dad, what's the next ingredient?" So I find myself saying that to this day. Okay, now we're gonna let this cook for about 5 minutes with the lid on. There's a little bit of moisture in there, right? Now what we're gonna do next, 5 minutes later, is add the rest of our water. And we're gonna pour that water in. Now I'm only using about 2 cups of water. However, if you wanna make more broth, just add more water. We're gonna place the lid on, bring it to a boil, and again, you allow it to cook as long or as little as you like based on the way you like your vegetables. Crunchy, soft, whatever. And I've got tips for you. Tips on buying fresh foods. We're concentrating today on produce because, hey, it's produce time. First tip, look at the item. Make sure it looks good, including organic foods. 2, use that nose, smell it. When fruits are ripe, they smell ripe. It's like a peach. My favorite saying is, if it don't smell peachy, it ain't gonna taste peachy, okay? What's the third one? Touch it, feel it, right? As fruits ripen, they soften up a bit. I call it the thumb test. But make a fist like that, tip of your thumb. That's about as much give as a ripe piece of fruit should have. Okay, that's 3. What's 4? Buy what's in season. It's spring popping out all around the world. One of my favorite spring items is asparagus. Yeah, we use it in our vegetable today. Look at the tips. They should be closed tightly. If they start to open up, stay away from it. Also, when it comes to vegetables, They give a fresh aroma. If you smell anything sour, stay away from it, okay? Remember that. What's the last tip? 5, get to know your purveyor. Whether it's your produce person, your butcher, your fishmonger, get to know them. They can tell you when things came in, how fresh they are, and where they came from. Hope you enjoyed today's show. We did 3 recipes with 1 bird feeding 2 people, right? You got that? We did a stock for you. We did a gravy. And then this everyone's favorite chicken soup. However, I've got 3 more recipes coming up on the next show. We're gonna make for you on that show fajitas, chicken salad, and my favorite, chicken pot pies. So hey, if you like what we're doing, tell a friend, maybe 3, and don't forget, spread love. Come back to the show.
What you see here is an irresistibly special gift that just moments before was filled with the world's most delicious snacks from Nuts.com. Nuts, dried fruits, sweets, and other treats. All her favorites in one special tray of tasty temptation. Freshly roasted to perfection or freshly baked, dipped, seasoned, or popped to satisfy every craving. Create your own combination for Mother's Day or choose from Nuts.com's gift baskets and tins with every flavor of happy. Get 20% off plus free shipping on your first order.
Step into the world of Goriana, where every hour is golden hour. Created where the sun meets the sea. Yours to layer, yours to make your own, yours to share with others. Jewelry you'll love. Goriana. Find us in-store and online.
What you see here is an irresistibly special gift that just moments before was filled with the world's most delicious snacks from Nuts.com. Nuts, dried fruits, sweets, and other treats. All her favorites in one special tray of tasty temptation. Freshly roasted to perfection or freshly baked, dipped, seasoned, or popped to satisfy every craving. Create your own combination for Mother's Day or choose from Nuts.com's gift baskets and tins with every flavor of happy. Get 20% off plus free shipping on your first order.
Are you certain you can fix that?
Yeah, clip here and there.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters, like the certainty of Lisa, Joshua, Robin, Haley, and Josh. 4 Imprint promo product experts dedicated to working with you, for you, every step of the way. Make certain your logo, your organization, and you shine. That's the certainty of 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Hi, I'm Chef Curtis Aikens. If you like what we're doing or you want to learn more, scan the QR code or visit my website, curtisaikens.net, and all my social media sites to find more.
The preceding was a paid program for Cooking with Curtis Aikens. Brought to you by Zan Media Productions.